recommending it.
Okay. Alright, well.
Oh, what the fuck happened here? Shit the fuck what? Okay. I have a lot of tabs open. It's not as bad as yours where you got like 90 of them.
I usually have I have to put them into columns and categories. That's how many I have active.
That's a lot of porn.
That's on my cell phone. I never use a computer for that. That's how you get viruses.
And we learned new things. Okay.
It's all you.
Porn? Oh.
I mean, there's that too. Did you just snort on fucking video?
I did. I can edit this out.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you.
All right. Are you ready?
Yep. Let's do it.
I hate doing intros.
I can do it.
No.
Okay, then fucking do it.
Hello and welcome back, all you little deadites, to another episode of Serial Killers and Chill with me and this guy.
The extra.
He's my accessory. What? If Ken can be Barbie's accessory, you can be mine. You match my purses.
Speaking of that, we'll get into that later.
Ooh.
Albert Fish.
Oh, you got something about purses?
Well, no, not specifically purses, but...
No.
Anyways.
So the other night, Drake and I are partaking in some satanic debauchery.
Which we usually do.
And we bounced about the idea of kind of doing a Q&A sort of situation. So we're going to do a fun fact episode.
Yep, she picked a couple serial killers. I picked a couple. Actually, I found one particular one from Germany I'd never even heard of.
Yeah.
So that one was interesting.
We get to revisit a couple, too.
Yes, because you've done a couple episodes of these ones when you're on Spotify.
Yeah.
Before you moved over to Facebook.
When it was just the straight, yeah. Oh, when
straight
I had
podcast.
The worst co-host in history.
Yes.
Never choose a co-host that does not watch fucking horror films.
First mistake.
Oh, terrible mistake. That's like a little goth chick dating a jock. It just doesn't fucking work.
Not gonna happen.
No. Funny looking prom pictures. Before we start, though, I want to give a little congratulations to some of the most vile and disgusting memes to come across the page this week.
Okay, first, because Josh, fucking awesome. With was it the Vaseline one?
Oh, dude, I could hear
the crunching.
That what was it? The South Park episode? You put your hand in a jar of mayo.
So that one was fucking awesome, and then the hangnail.
Yes.
Ripping up the hand.
That would be you.
Yes.
I could feel that fucking picture. Like,
that one was pretty good.
Just thinking about it. Oh, my fingers. Oh, my God.
Well, because we've all had that where it just fucking keeps going and going,
yes.
and it's just like, fuck it, rip.
Yes, and the fact that it's like all of the arm
up down the tendon and shit.
No.
And then the third one would be Chad. Awesome with the little duck.
I love the little
serial
duck.
killer duck.
I love the little duck.
Very demonic duck. That was good.
He looked incredibly wicked, very shady.
Yes, very, very much so.
Made me want to go get a duck.
A little bit.
Next thing I want to throw in, for anybody who is a horror movie fan, right now, Shudder, if you haven't heard of it, it's SHURDDER. It's DD, not TT. Shudder, not Shutter. Right now, this month is their halfway to Halloween mark. We're halfway to Halloween!
Fucking finally.
What they're doing is just for the remainder of this month, if you go in and you do the promo code CREEPY, you will get 30 days free of charge.
Yep.
After that, it's $5.99 a month. No, we are not getting any paid endorsements for this. I'm simply saying if you really
It's
like
awesome.
your horror movies, and they got everything.
They've got a pretty damn good list this time. So
yeah, they've got everything. And right now, because it is their halfway to Halloween thing, they've got a bunch of the Halloween movies on there.
Yep.
None of the. They have the original, and then I think what is it? 4 and 5 or some crap like that. I can't remember. It's sparse, but they have them. And then a shit ton of just older, bizarre ones.
Yeah, like we're talking 50s.
Yeah, really weird ones from the 70s too. Another thing that they've got that I take particular interest in. Anybody who remembers Creep Show.
Yes.
They have revamped it.
Fucking awesome.
New episodes every single Thursday. Season 1 you can watch all the way through. Season 2, every Thursday you get a new episode. They've also got a holiday special episode. We watched it last night.
That one was good.
It got a little funky towards the end, and it was cheesy, but it was so...
It was entertaining. It was entertaining.
It held true to what Creep Show really was.
Yep.
So, if you're interested, promo code is CREEPY. I had gotten it from a podcast that I listen to on Spotify that's presented by Creepypasta.
Yep.
Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Oh,
yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Fucking delicious. Order yourself some online. Fucking Army of Darkness chocolate.
Army of Dark Chocolate.
Yeah.
It's from the Bones Coffee Company. I'm perusing through Facebook, and this pops up. I
Fucking
couldn't help
delicious.
myself. It took about a week to show up, so I wasn't waiting very long. Really wasn't. The box is small enough that they were able to cram it in my mailbox. So when it said it was delivered, I was like, what do you mean it's not on the porch?
Yep. Yeah.
I got used to Amazon.
Fucking good. Yeah, no shit with it.
That big ass package for one little sticker.
For a sticker this big. I shit you not. The packaging was like this.
But it's actually really, really good. They've got 10 tons of other flavors. If you like coffee, I'm recommending these guys. Again, we are receiving no forms of endorsements from these people. We are simply making recommendations. But we would like endorsement. Moving on.
Okay, so I had mentioned Albert Fish being the first one that I've got on my list.
Yes.
So, and excuse me, my notes are small and I do have to read them, so I will be kind of veering back and forth. Unfortunately, I'm not able to memorize all of this into my tiny little brain. But if nobody knows about Albert Fish, he was the one that cooked his meals, which were the people he killed. He was known as the Brooklyn Vampire, the Moon Manic, werewolf of, what was it, Wisteria, the Boogeyman, and also the Gray Man. The reason for this was in his earliest times of the murders was he killed 3 children, and that's where it kind of went from there, and that's what gave him the name of the Boogeyman.
Yeah. I have not done Albert Fish.
Okay.
Mostly because I don't like the ones that have a whole shitload of notoriety, and there are 10 tons of documentaries on him.
6.3 million results and not even a second on Google. So, yeah.
But we will get into them. So what was it you had on Fish?
So one of the interviews with Fish was that he confessed that he made stew out of his victims with parts of the ears, nose, belly. I mean, just... And what was crazy about Fish is that he enjoyed it. He enjoyed it so much that he actually compared to it as like a turkey roast. That after 2 hours, and this is in quote, I made a stew out of my victims, and then in about 2 hours it was nice and brown, cooked through. I never ate any roast turkey that tasted half as good.
I think because I know it was kids, it got like the hair on my arms. That's what it was kind of.
That's what he preferred. Now, and like I said, he preferred to eat people. Like, that was his thing. And this is my final note on him, is that when he went to go get executed in January 16th, 1936, he literally said that he didn't know why he was there. He found nothing wrong with what he was doing.
Yeah, he was completely delusional about it.
Yeah, like, he found absolutely nothing wrong with eating people.
Children at that.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, do you think it's kind of like veal?
You know, we watched that cartoon last night about the guy eating himself.
That's right.
And he
don't ruin it. It's a creep show.
He described it though in a very small portion, but yeah, it's like
he compared it to roast.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyways.
All right. So.
Moving on.
Yeah, I think that just kind of...
So what's your first one there?
Alright, so we all know who Ed Gein is, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. When the police finally went to arrest him, his house was in absolute disarray.
Yes, it was a fucking pigsty.
Total pigsty. I mean, for the mommies out there who think your kids don't clean their rooms... And trust me, my kid's room looks like a third world fucking country. It's scary. I think there's a possum in there.
I think there was. There's shit moving around in there.
Oh yeah. I think the blankets are breathing.
I like that.
So.
Which is weird because we're both like super clean.
Yeah.
And.
Oh yeah. Well, you do good with organized chaos.
Yes.
And.
Except for my side of the room.
I'm extremely anal retentive, and everything has its place, and it must be in its place. It needs to be lined up. OCD.
Mm-hmm.
So both sides of our room is terrifying. Super, super tidy, and organized with just a little bit of disaster to it. It's like a tornado went through and decided where everything needed to go and just kind of threw it there.
Not the case for this guy, though.
No. He had let the house go into disrepair.
Yes.
Just, it was really bad. When they got in there, they found countless body parts from his various grave digging excursions.
Just laying around.
Yep. Including a bag of wilted vaginas.
Oh, that's right.
Wilted Wilted vaginas. That is not a word I ever want used to describe my vajayjay. Is wilted. Some of y'all girls out there going, don't call it puffy.
better than wilted.
And then, of course, you know, the infamous skin lamp.
Yes.
If you die first, I'm gonna turn you into a skin lamp.
I turned some bones into a lamp once.
I've actually considered taking some of your softer parts and putting them on the arms of a chair so I can just sit there and pet you.
Yeah. Moving on.
He also had a half-finished suit, a woman's suit, that was made from the skin of some of his victims. There were maggots living in the dishes in the kitchen. The whole house looked like shit with the exception of one room. His late mother's room, remained exactly the same with
pristine condition besides dust.
Yeah, a thick layer of it at that.
Yep.
It was completely untouched. So he either had immense fear or unbelievable respect for his mom to the point where he was afraid to even set foot in her room long after she had died.
Yep.
He even claimed to have heard her voice criticizing him from time to time. This was the central experience that inspired Norman Bates' character to maintain his mother's home and image in the movie Psycho.
Right.
Another fun fact. In Taxi Driver, if anybody has seen Taxi Driver, I believe that's the one that's got Jodie Foster.
Yep. When
she was really, really young playing the prostitute. She was such a cute little girl. Oh my god, she was so precious looking. Anywho, the main character, Travis Bickle, makes kind of this offhanded comment when leaving a diner that he had had a cup of coffee and a slice of apple pie with cheese on top, which, by the way, that's fucking delicious. Cheddar cheese. He's not a pie person.
Or dairy.
in exchange for details to investigators after he had been captured, Gain. I've heard it pronounced both ways.
I think it's Gain.
I think it's Gain. He requested the exact same meal. His house full of skin and bones inspired Leatherface and his behavior from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And this overall desire to be a woman inspired the character Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs. So that comes back to like quite some time ago when I was still doing the Spotify stuff. I had mentioned how serial killers have seriously altered our pop culture.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
They're utilized to inspire characters in books, movies, TV shows.
More often than you think.
Oh, and it's funny to see the hodgepodge.
Yeah.
It's
especially
really
since
weird.
We know so much about these
yeah.
individuals that when you see them, like the inspiration in a movie, it's wild how much they actually take from the actual serial killer.
Yes.
And portray it to that character. I mean, it's...
How many times have you and I sat and watched a movie and mentioned that such and such character was behaving like such and such killer?
All the time.
It's creepy.
Yep.
I don't know if it's creepy that you see so much of it or that we recognize it.
I don't know. Probably a little bit both. Anyway. So, my next one, and I cannot pronounce the name for the life of me. The first one, or his first name, but his last name is Kroll.
Kroll. I'm assuming it's pronounced Kroll.
I'm assuming that the K isn't silent because it's not American. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, Kroll.
He used a knife.
Was 22 when he committed his first murder after his mother has passed away. He basically stalked I believe it was a young girl, and committed his first murder that way. But he was very much into killing young women and young girls. I think out of 13 murders, he only killed one male. And here's the crazy part is that he was renowned for taking young women and little girls on walks throughout the neighborhood.
Promoting health.
Exactly. But he never injured those ones. He never damaged them. He never sexually assaulted them. He never harmed them in any way. They all returned safely home. But he mainly targeted young women and little girls. I'm talking about like 5-year-olds, like young girls.
Like little munchkin. Now I got 2 questions actually. These were all kids that were within his like personal neighborhood, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that comes to that rule: never hunt inside your habitat.
Yeah, because
That makes sense. Okay. Question number 2: what fucking parent is going to send their child off with some guy to go for a walk?
I don't know. Different times. I mean, different times because it was in the 60s.
Well, okay,
so
yeah.
Different times.
Yeah, that's kind of like you look at some of the parents these days and they're like, "Your mom let you do what?" It's like, "Oh yeah, we ran the damn neighborhood, but when those streetlights came on, you went home."
It was time to get your ass home.
Everything between noon when cartoons ended and Soul Train came on, and the streetlights coming on, there was like an 8-hour chunk. Nobody knew.
So, one of the other things with Kroll is that he wouldn't have gotten caught. He was very meticulous with the way he did things, and he was a sick son of a bitch. Like what he did to these individuals after they died was fucking gross. Molest the bodies and then also chop them up.
Okay, so
he was a cannibal as well.
Okay, so he was a necrophiliac and a cannibal.
Yes.
Tasty.
But the reason why he got caught is because he lived in a I believe in a complex area, and he ended up there was like a backup where the sewer or the pipes were clogged.
Yes.
and he had made a smart-ass remark to one of the neighbors. Sorry, I'm going to do this quote here. Let's see. Oh, where was it?
That's why I highlight.
Sorry.
We're going to have to start combining notes.
Yeah, I think so. He told the neighbor that his toilet was clogged with guts. Jokingly. That's what it was.
And it literally was.
Yes, they found a lung, a kidney, some other, what other part? A stomach, like literally in the toilet that clogged up the system, and that's how he got caught.
You know those little miniature travel tubes of toothpaste and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Kiddo decided it would be a fantastic idea to flush all kinds of travel stuff down the toilet. We had all the travel stuff out. We were going to go and see my sister across the country for her wedding. Mm-hmm. So I had all the travel stuff sitting out in the bathroom. I should have put it in my bathroom, but I had it in her bathroom. And she decided to try and flush all of it. Now, what I want to know is how the fuck did he manage to get a goddamn lung down there?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a huge body part. Like,
because after the second tube of toothpaste and the little container of dental floss,
your shit's
clogged. It began to back up.
Yeah.
So I just had a whole bunch of shit floating in there. No, not literally shit. I know it was a toilet. I want to know how he got a lung down in there.
Yeah, liver, kidneys, like all this shit stuffed up the fucking wild. Anyways, upon his arrest, and this is what's fucking wild, is that he admitted to everything.
Just like outright, yep.
Admitted to everything. His his trial still lasted 151 days.
Now, you said this was back in the 60s, right?
1976 was when the trial was.
Okay, all right.
So, I mean, you're talking late 70s, but still, or mid 70s, but still, 151 days to somebody that confessed to everything.
What is there to debate if he's sitting there saying, yeah, I did it?
Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't until the 80s. It was 1976 when he got caught. It was 1982 when he went to trial.
Okay.
So you're talking about 6 years before he actually went to trial. And then trial lasted 151 days.
Wow.
I mean, that's fucking...
That's knuckin' futz.
That's wild. So what do you got?
My turn.
Yep.
So, in the John Wayne Gacy case, there were so many bodies crammed underneath the house that the bodies actually began to melt together, and the bones had to be sorted for more than 2 years just to put together a full skeleton.
That's fucking wild.
Melted together.
That's fucking hot as fuck.
Could you imagine being the forensic dudes who had to put together that fucking puzzle?
Nope. And spend that much time doing it?
2 years. Now, I worked on a jigsaw puzzle that was, what was it? It was like 50,000 pieces or some shit. I mean, this thing was huge. It was like the size of a fucking dining room table.
Jesus Christ.
Me and one other person worked on this big-ass fucking puzzle. It took us a year and a half. Because we only got together twice a week to do it. But it took a year and a half to finish that fucking puzzle. Can you imagine trying to do that shit with bones? Unfucking believable.
That's crazy.
Shit, fucking. It reminds me of that movie Society.
Yeah.
The bodies.
When they all melted together.
Also on Shudder.
Great movie. Great
Society.
movie.
It is an 80s flick. You will recognize tons of well, now super famous people.
Yep. It's
a little at first. But once that movie gets going, holy shit. And if you do watch it, you'll see what we mean by that whole melting together. Your turn.
Okay, so Pedro Lopez.
Oh.
Which you had done, I believe you did one on Pedro when you were doing Spotify, didn't you?
I believe so, actually. I know I did one on him.
Shit, it's almost been a year since you
I know, I am
almost
right
a
around
1
the
year
corner
mark.
from 1 year.
So one thing with Pedro is that he would revisit his victims and have tea parties.
Uh-huh.
Tea parties.
Uh-huh.
With the not only freshly murdered victim, but also the decomposing ones, to where he would basically introduce them to each other over a tea party. What the fuck?
I was a little girl once. I swear I was. And yes, I played Tea Party when I was a kid, and all I can see is this guy setting them up the way I would set up my babies.
Right. Like three, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the little tables.
Yeah, this is Baby Bear, and this is Sarah Silly Pants, and this is Wendy Wets herself.
Fuck. So, he also confessed to the murders of over 350, or murders and assaults of over 350 people altogether.
But it can't be proven, can it?
No, he didn't get convicted of all of them, but he was convicted of many.
Wow.
If I remember correctly, he had the highest conviction, different number of charges than any other serial killer.
Okay. Now, see, and when they go through and they're like, oh yeah, you know, I killed like 300 plus, I gotta always ask how much of that is really true.
Well, so he didn't murder that many, but he assaulted.
So it was like combined.
Well, you're right. He assaulted and sexually assaulted and abused, and so.
Okay, well, I still don't think it was 300, but
he got charged with quite a bit, but yeah.
Wow.
And I believe he was the. I believe he had like 12 siblings. His mom was a prostitute, and I believe, if I remember correctly, let's see. Yeah, yep.
So
12 brothers and sisters.
As soon as you said he had 12 siblings, the first thought that popped in my head was, fuck, get off of her! And then you said prostitute, I was like, never mind.
Yep.
Fuck, that's milk and eggs.
And his mom was super abusive towards all of the kids, because when she would get violently hit being a prostitute, she would then turn around and take it on the kids.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, Lopez actually ended up getting kicked out or ran away when he was 8 years old.
I believe he was kicked out, actually. I think what it is, if I've got the right person, because there's so many out there.
Yeah.
He was caught molesting one of his female siblings.
The younger.
And was kicked
sisters.
out.
Yeah. I do believe so.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Oh my gosh, I feel so horrible for not knowing exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But yeah, that's Lopez.
All right.
Your next one?
Jeffrey Dahmer!
Everybody knows that name.
Towards the end, right before Dahmer was caught and arrested and all that fun jazz, he had so many bodies in his apartment that he actually ran out of room to store his victims, and ended up putting some of them in his bathtub. He proceeded to continue to shower daily for a month with these bodies in there. Can you just think about that?
Hot shower.
Yeah. Yeah. A hot shower straddling over rotted corpses to get all fresh and clean for the day.
That's fucking gross.
And suddenly I think of an ICP song about the boogeyman, and all of a sudden his foot's in his mouth.
Yep.
I'm so glad you're there with me.
That's fucking hilarious. Oh, ICP.
Oh, you got another?
Yeah, so last one was Chicatillo. So Chicatillo was interesting. So one of the fun facts is that his first murder actually ended up getting somebody else arrested. And because of his murders, there was over 200 rapists and other murderers that got convicted, found of their crimes because they were searching for him, ended up arresting over 200 other criminals in the pursuit of finding him.
Two wrongs don't make a right, though.
That's fucking wild. Like, fucking wild. Another thing, a little fun fact with him, is that he believed that when you died, your eyeballs stored the last image.
Yeah!
Right before you died. So he would cut out the eyes in fear that somehow during the biopsy that they were going to be able to see him somehow.
That's what we call guilt.
Yeah, well, eventually he ended up finding out that this is not a true thing.
That's right, and that's when he stopped doing it.
And he stopped doing it.
Which threw the police off because now the MO changed.
The MO changed, threw them off, completely veered them. So then they started thinking that they had almost essentially a copycat on their hands.
Oh, they didn't even realize they had a serial killer at first. And when they did realize it was, they didn't want to admit it. Because in that era, you don't have serial killers.
Yeah, they tried very hard to ignore the fact that he was on a murder spree.
Yeah, I had done, and actually you've listened to all of the Spotify ones. I had done Chicatillo right at the very beginning, actually. I think it was one of my very first ones.
I think it was like your...
I think it was like my first or my second one.
I think it was your second one.
Yeah, it was titled A Side of Andre Chicatillo.
Yep.
Yeah, that one ran about an hour or so long. There was so much info.
It was a long one, but yeah. There
was so much
super
info.
interesting. If you guys ever get the time to listen to a documentary or something on him.
And look at the courtroom pictures. Oh my God, this guy was creepy.
Trial of the Century is what they actually ended up titling his trial.
Oh.
Like...
They had to put him
in a cage
because
not to keep him from attacking people, but
to keep people from attacking him.
Yep, he had to be in a cage right next to the judge in order to keep him safe from people taking vengeance out on him.
Yeah.
Fucking how many people? Let's see.
Oh God, I can't remember.
It was a shit ton, but he was like 50 something when he was.
I believe so. Yeah.
Actually put on trial. But yeah, wild. Yeah.
Just creepy. And he oozes.
Oh yeah, he look. If looks could say what you do, that he's definitely got it.
But with all those missing teeth, I gotta ask: is it prostitution? All right, I got one more.
Okay, one more, and that's it for me.
All right. Let me see. Oh, I got two more.
Okay.
I got two more. Always going above and beyond. Fuck you. All right. John Norman Collins. He used to pick up women on his motorcycle, and the bodies of his victim, all women, used to be dumped here and there, but they were always washed in advance. It turns out he only preferred to kill women who were on their period.
I did not know that.
Yep, that's nasty. Talk about earning
your
red wings.
So do you like wait at the store for someone to go buy tampons or something like that?
That's what I was wondering. How the fuck do you know? I mean,
I was gonna say, you smelling them out, man? Like.
Oh, that was. Oh. So.
Anyways.
Additional fun fact to that. He was referred to as John Norman Collins during his trial. He later changed his name to Chapman because there was a lawyer in town whose name was John Collins, and this was a way of distinguishing the two of them.
Yep.
It was so polite.
It was.
Very courteous.
Very courteous, yeah.
So, very last one I have. And the reason I selected this one is because sometime back, if anybody remembers...
On your Spotify.
No, on the Facebook page, actually. When the Facebook page first started, I had posted up that you are able to pen pal with your favorite serial killers.
Right.
Here's the addresses and everything like that so that you can pen pal with them.
Yeah.
From what I heard, Kemper will write anybody back.
That's crazy.
He'll write anybody back. He's actually seen as a model prisoner.
Which really happens more often than people think. With these serial killers, when they go to jail or they're awaiting execution, the fan base... Ramirez.
Oh.
Fucking huge.
Dude, he was getting more fucking titty pictures than girls get dick pics on Tinder.
It was fucking
It was
wild.
a lot.
But anyways.
Anywho, so, aside from the killing, BTK is such a self-serving, pompous, and pretentious piece of shit. He makes people actually fill out a fucking application in order to be his pen pal.
What?
You have to fill out an application to be BTK's pen pal.
Wow. Yeah, you're full of yourself, man. What a fucking dog.
I'm sorry, BTK. There's way better out there than you, and I would much rather fill out an application to talk to somebody else. His shit wasn't that fucking interesting.
No, it really wasn't.
No, it's not. Really... He didn't really step outside the box. Ooh, I'm gonna go ahead and take pictures of myself wearing all these fucking ladies' clothes and hang myself. Fantastic. Way to think outside the box.
You're special.
Very. So, that's all I had.
Yep, that's all I got. So, that brings that up to a wrap, and...
Well, hurrah! So, that concludes the episode of the Q&A and all sorts of shit. Yes, please, Army of Dark Chocolate, Bones Coffee Company. No endorsements, but we would like some.
Good shit.
As per always, thank you very much for coming and listening to us dribble about absolute fucking bullshittery. I do hope the rest of your day turns out great and there's not a whole load of fuckery.
Or a lot.
No, I don't need any more fuckery in my existence. I've had enough fuckery. Yeah. All right, well, thank you. And every single one of you have very, very pleasant nightmares.